Welcome to Audio Monk. Close your eyes, clear your mind, and prepare to absorb the raw data of reality. An unexpected crisis hits your business, or a digital notification disrupts your peace. What happened? Your heart rate spiked. Your posture tightened. You immediately began formulating a response in your head. In that exact microsecond, you lost. You handed over the keys to your mental kingdom. Most mainstream self-help audiobooks tell you to work harder, speak louder, or fake an aura of dominance to build confidence. They tell you to fill your mind with endless strategies. But the top 0.01% of thinkers, the elite strategists, the neuroscientists, and the ancient philosophers, understand a much deeper, far more dangerous truth. True, unshakable power does not look like a roaring lion. It looks like an empty room. It is the absolute terrifying ability to look at chaos, look at provocation, look at insult, and react to nothing. When you master the art of non-reaction, you don't just become calm. You become a psychological black hole. You become dangerously confident. Let us dismantle the exact science, philosophy, and game theory behind how you can build this indomitable armor. To understand why non-reaction is so lethal, we have to look past basic psychology and dive straight into human biology. Whenever an external threat or provocation occurs, your brain doesn't see a minor social inconvenience. It sees a predator. Your amygdala, the ancient survival engine of your mind, instantly fires up. It floods your bloodstream with cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate accelerates, your breathing becomes shallow, and your vision narrows. This is the fight or flight response. When you are in this state, your higher level thinking, the prefrontal cortex, is effectively taken hostage. Now look at the average person. They live their lives in a perpetual state of low-grade chemical panic. They react to every email, every traffic jam, and every sideways glance. They are biologically fragile. But what happens when you train yourself to sit in the fire without flinching? Top-tier neuroscientists study a metric called vagal tone. The vagus nerve is the superhighway of your parasympathetic nervous system. It acts as the biological brake for your stress response. Individuals who possess exceptionally high vagal tone can experience a massive external shock, but their brain instantly fires the biological brake. Their heart rate remains steady. Their biochemistry remains completely unbothered. When you do not flinch, you preserve 100% of your cognitive bandwidth. While everyone else in the room is operating on panicked survival instincts, you are observing the playing field with absolute crystalline clarity. That quiet, steady physical presence is what other people subconsciously detect. It is an aura that cannot be faked, and it is the foundational bedrock of dangerous confidence. Let us shift our focus from science to strategy. In the realm of high-stakes human interaction, emotion is the ultimate currency. Whenever someone insults you, tries to manipulate you, or actively provokes you, they're rarely doing it just to be cruel. Strategically, they are fishing for data. They want to see where your boundaries lie. They want to know what makes you uncomfortable. They want to find the crack in your armor so they know exactly where to strike next. The moment you react, whether you get angry, get defensive, or start over-explaining your position, you hand them a complete blueprint of your insecurities. You are telling them, look right here, this is where it hurts. Now imagine what happens when they throw an insult or a calculated provocation at you, and you meet it with absolute unbroken silence. You don't scowl, you don't roll your eyes, you don't defensively clap back. You simply look at them with total neutrality as if they're a gust of wind passing through a tree. By choosing to react to nothing, you transform yourself into an information black hole. The person trying to provoke you is suddenly met with zero feedback. This is psychologically terrifying for an adversary. Human beings inherently need feedback loops to calibrate their behavior. When they receive total stillness, a profound sense of psychological discomfort sets in. They begin to second-guess themselves. They think, why isn't he reacting? What does he know that I don't know? Have I completely overplayed my hand? In game theory, the side that retains its information while forcing the opponent to guess always holds the asymmetric advantage. Your silence becomes an aggressive, crushing tactical weapon. Centuries ago, ancient philosophers traveled across the known world and formulated a radical approach to human suffering and power. They realized that the world outside of us doesn't actually possess the power to hurt us. Think deeply about this. An event occurs, a contract falls through, a deal collapses, or someone says a derogatory word to you. In its raw physical form, that event is completely neutral. It is just matter and energy moving through space and time. It only becomes bad or harmful the exact moment your mind assigns a label to it. The highest thinkers called the ultimate state of human mastery Ataraxia, which translates to an untroubled mind or unshakable stillness. They achieve this not by masking their emotions with willpower, but through the suspension of judgment. When you practice the suspension of judgment, you stop immediately categorizing events as blessings or curses. If a crisis hits your venture, you don't scream, "This is a disaster." Instead, you tell yourself, "This is a set of data. This is the current reality. How do we navigate it?" Most people confuse confidence with arrogance. Arrogance is a loud, fragile house of cards that requires constant external validation to stay upright. Arrogant people react to everything because their ego is constantly under threat. Dangerous confidence, however, is rooted in radical internal sovereignty. You have built an internal ecosystem so solid, so distinct from the outside world, that the opinions, actions, and chaos of others simply cannot penetrate the perimeter. You do not need the environment to behave a certain way for you to be okay. When you need nothing from the environment loses all leverage over you. So, how do you practically implement this level of mastery into your daily execution? How do you move from the theory found in summaries to raw, real-world power? It requires a daily, deliberate rewiring of your behavioral defaults. First, implement the radical pause. The next time you feel an impulse to react, whether it's an angry message or an unexpected setback, consciously force a 4-second delay. In that 4-second window, breathe deeply and remember that your reaction is a transaction. Ask yourself, is this event worth buying with my peace of mind? Second, starve the drama. Let people win minor arguments. Let them think they've had the last word. When you refuse to engage in petty emotional back and forths, you conserve an immense amount of cognitive energy that can be channeled directly into your grandest professional goals, your business architecture, and your physical health. Third, own your silence. Understand that silence is not weakness. It is the ultimate expression of dominance. The most powerful person in any room is almost always the one who speaks the least, but commands the most presence when they do. True self-investment isn't about becoming a numb, unfeeling machine. It is about becoming a highly sophisticated, deeply anchored individual who chooses exactly where, when, and how to deploy their energy. Stop letting the world pull your strings. Stop letting the minor fluctuations of the market, the opinions of critics, or the chaos of daily life dictate your internal state. Step into your sovereignty. Master your nervous system. Suspend your judgment. React to nothing. And become dangerously confident. Thank you for listening to this masterclass. If this insight shifted your perspective, subscribe to Audiobook, leave a rating, and carry this stillness into your day. Until next time, stay sovereign.